What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ask the Producer series. And this week we have the amazing song that we listened to in the What Makes It Great episode for Bad Bunny. So Bad Bunny had the song called DtMF, which I thought was a very interesting and really lovely soundscape. And today I wanted to show you a little bit on how to do that in Soundtrap. And I'm not talking about anything of the drums, just to set the vibe that Bad Bunny was going through. And if you want the full video, I will link it here in the comments down below. But for those of you that haven't watched it, it's somewhere around the lines of being very nostalgic, but also having like this hazy remembrance and very like warm feeling to it. Let's jump into the studio and see what we got. First thing off, I just pulled in a couple of loops here. Lucid Flute Top 01. I ended up drawing in, but so there's two sampler tracks, there's two loops. If you want to know what they are, it's High Fashion Nylon and Atlantis Noisy Pluck Guitar. So if you can listen to it. First, we have the Noisy Pluck. Very low key. We have this kind of Latin-esque guitar going on, which I thought was really gorgeous, just for the sake of it. And this is a sampler, or this is a one-shot that we actually have in the loop tab called Memphis Grit Reese something. So go check that out if you're interested. I love Reese basses, they're really cool. But for this case, it's really amazing because you want that like kind of warm foundation. And then just to replicate that Bad Bunny had in this track, there's a small flute, which I also added just a sampler. I just wanted to add something fluty, so that's what I added here. But now to get to the soundscaping part of it, let's listen to it, what it sounds like all in all. And now you can hear like pretty much it just feels like it's like stacked on top of each other. It's not really very well. It's not telling a cohesive story because super dry. The Reese bass is super clean. And then we have the noisy guitar that literally has a lot of noise. So let's do this. So I think first off, we can honestly just go for a texture noise. So let's do that. So we kind of can get that whole nostalgic tape feeling going on. Let's chill with that one. I do not like that scraping sound. So let's just pull that down. And if you're new here, I hate 4K. 4K is... Okay, 4K visually, yes. 4K audio, no go. So now we have this. Now, let's jump into each and every one of these and listen what we can do. So let's start off with the noisy guitar. So here, I wanted to go for that noise. But I think what we can do first is just filter out a lot of that low end. Because really it doesn't need all of that low rumble. Then I think for that nostalgic feel, we can go into adding a tape wobble. We can add a bit crusher. And what else? Maybe a reverb, because it was like, we want to make it a little bit more cohesive, right? Just as default, this is going to sound like absolute crazy. Not really what we're going for. It's cool, but not really what we're going for. So we're going to smooth out the downsampling. We're going to pull out the end. Now we have... That's it. We just want that little sizzle at the top, because then we can add more of the noise also on the crush, which is kind of cool. So, and now with the wow depth, if I max it out, you see what it's doing. So I just want to do a little bit of that flutter depth. You can hear it kind of shaking a little bit, which is nice. and then move it to big plate as per usual. I love that preset. So down. Just making it a little bit dirtier. So now we're going into this, and this actually is my favorite one. So here, what if you go in and listen to the song, you can hear actually this tip on just making things sound nasty, but in like a really cool way. So guitars especially are really great for this because they got that kind of high note, but also it doesn't get too bogged down with too much of it when you do this. So listen to this. Without, with, which I think is so dope. So with that, I'm also going to add the tape wobble. And do we want to crush this one as well? Maybe. Let's try it out. Let's do the same settings as before. No, I don't hate that. Okay, so now we have those two. Now let's get into the respace. So here with the respace, I think I added a little bit of extra bass because you want to have that really rumbly kind of like enveloping bass. Now finally, I think all I was thinking was that I just wanted to add like kind of a clipper to make it a little bit more chaotic, in the sense of like, I mean, okay, not chaotic, but you can kind of emphasize the fundamental root note with a little bit of extra distortion. So I just wanted to do that. And then if you wanted to know, just check these settings out. This is what I did to it. Release is set a little bit higher, so when you press it, it kind of has a little bit of a fade. The glide is pretty long, so we get those weird ramps and stuff, which I think is really cool. Finally, I think for the bass, and something that usually works really well for these respaces, is stereo chorus. However, really important thing here, stereo chorus have the tendency to phase out your bass a little bit, so it won't be as strong. So listen to this. So a lot of that low rumble chorus. So what you can do actually is duplicate the track. And then once you have it here in the effects, I'm going to add a filter, take out a lot of that low rumble, and then add that chorus effect on that instead. So this will be the kind of high end, and this will be the low end one. So skip the chorus on that, and you get the, and then vary it like here. Get a lot more width. And if we want to emphasize it even more, we can add the filter and then remove the high end from here. So we kind of get that. Bigger. Now, finally, we have that little weird flute thingy. And here, honestly, we're going to go the same kind of route with this. I wanted to add the bit crusher though, because I want to make it a little bit more dirty. That noise back in, also keep it at maybe 3, and we got. Now it sounds like a one flute instrument, which I think is so sick. It's fond memories, right? I think that's the main thing. And then we can add the flutter again. Wow, depth. And now to cut out a little bit of that high end, because it does sound a little bit too hi-fi. So that's better. And cut out that low end. There we go. Now we got rid of that. There's a like pluck sound in the beginning of that, so I wanted to avoid that. And finally, of course, add a reverb, because everything that's dry doesn't sound that fun. Well, can, but definitely not. So now we have the texture with all of the instruments, and And then for the sake of it, I just want to add drums to this actually, because I'm vibing with this thing. Dark, ice, full drums. And get something. Yo, that's a vibe already. And I hope that you enjoyed this. I know that we really didn't get kind of like that same kind of happy-go-lucky vibe on this one, but now you understand how the sound design works behind it. So that's really what I wanted to go for. Now, thank you so much for watching. I really enjoy making these videos, and please give me more song ideas on stuff that I can recreate or talk about the soundscaping and stuff. I'm making these videos for you guys. So leave them in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe because it really does help us out knowing that this is the kind of content you want on the channel. So with all of that said, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.